Inclusive leadership means that you don't necessarily have to be a leader by title, but you have to be connected to what you're trying to change. So if you're, for example, Karen brought up, when they were doing the laptops, in that scenario, you want to have some parents involved. You want to have some teachers involved, principals, superintendents, because at the end of the day, you may miss a step in the process that you weren't thinking about. For example, Andrew was talking about how he had to support teachers. Well, if you don't really realize that parents have no clue how to use a laptop, that's going to inform you, before we pass it out, we have to have a call center, a way for parents to get help when we push out this new technology. Without them being in the room, that's a step that's missed, which means now you got to do rework. You send all these laptops, and now you got all these people calling Mr. Jones at the front desk who has no clue what's going on. And now you got to get everything back going again. So for me, inclusive leadership means having the people at the table that have different perspectives and all your stakeholders. And I'm a project manager by profession as well. Most projects fail because they fail to include the right stakeholders. And so for that, to me, is inclusive leadership. It's not just the people at the top.
Inclusive leadership really seeks out those perspectives and viewpoints that we just miss or we don't know to look for. And it also seeks to empower people in decision making and not just include them as a consulting, advising role, but to really create structures that allow for leadership to be more distributed. And I couldn't agree more with, when we're talking about people's, like I said, we learn so much about our parents. We now can really value their experiences and their backgrounds more. What do they have to contribute? What are their problems, and how are we exacerbating their problems, or how can we learn from their experiences to really formulate a community approach to technology decision making?
I think we bring a lot of pressure on ourselves as leaders because we think because we have the word leader after our name, our director, our manager, that we're supposed to know all of the answers. And maybe even that's the way it is as a teacher. You think you're supposed to know all the answers. But a really good leader and a really good teacher, your objective is to listen and learn and bring your strong stakeholders in and pull those together. Your job is really to manage and to lead, not to know. And I think sometimes when we get in those roles, we get confused thinking we're supposed to be the knower of all, but really our strong point is to be able to bring those people in and to make decisions as a whole and make decisions as a group. And that's a lot of the things that I talk to a lot of our, when I'm growing a manager or I'm mentoring someone, just because you have that title doesn't necessarily mean that you're the knower of all. Having that title just gives you the ability to bring more people in, is what that title does. And I like to find people that don't have those titles, that have the ability to bring people in and to get those knowledges together and to learn to agree to, these are all of our weaknesses. We just did a leadership workshop last Monday with all of our teams, and we found their strengths and weaknesses, and we talked about how you manage and work with all of the strengths and weaknesses. And you want to bring all of those in to help you plan, and you plan as a team. It's managed by committee, it's managed by team, it's plan is by team, it's all of that's there. And I think that's new for some folks because we've not always worked that way. But being in the area that we're in, especially because of the pandemic, I think that's really proven a lot to a lot of our leadership, whether you're technology or district or wherever you're at, even in the community, that you're not alone. You can't make these decisions by yourself. And Shantae, sometimes that is a lesson learned. And I think through our careers, we've learned that we are not the knower of all. We need to be the knower of all to bring in, not the knower of all to pass out the information. So 100% agree. It's a team. We're all teams, and we bring our strengths and weaknesses together. And to me, that's what makes a good district. That's what makes a good technology team. That's what makes a good committee.